Throughout history, humanity has witnessed countless kings, rulers, and emperors. Roman emperors, Ottoman sultans, and European monarchs all left their mark on the world. Yet among them stood one man whose wealth continues to astonish historians even today. His name was Mansa Musa. When modern historians attempt to estimate his fortune in today's terms, the numbers are staggering. Some estimates place his wealth at more than $400 billion. This would make him not only the richest man of his own era, but the wealthiest person in all of human history. Even the technology billionaires of today seem modest in comparison. But Mansa Musa was far more than a wealthy ruler. He was a powerful emperor, a skilled statesman, a devoted Muslim, and one of the most influential leaders in African history. Under his rule, the Mali Empire became one of the richest and most powerful states in Africa. Its gold mines, trade routes, and centers of learning all reached their peak during his reign. However, the event that made Mansa Musa famous across the world was his legendary journey in 1324. It was a pilgrimage to Mecca, but not an ordinary pilgrimage. It was perhaps the most magnificent journey the medieval world had ever seen. During the 14th century, a great empire was rising in West Africa. This empire was known as the Mali Empire. Today, Mali appears as a relatively small country on the map of Africa. During the Middle Ages, however, it was one of the continent's most powerful states. The empire stretched across large portions of present-day Mali, Senegal, Guinea, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mauritania. Yet the strength of the Mali Empire did not come solely from its vast territory. Its true source of wealth was gold. A significant portion of the gold used throughout the medieval world came from West Africa, and much of that gold was controlled by the Mali Empire. Regions such as Bambouk and Bure contained some of the richest gold mines on Earth. Gold was transported across the Sahara Desert to North Africa, and from there distributed to Europe and the Middle East. These routes became known as the Trans-Saharan trade routes. Caravans traveled for months across the desert. Camels carried gold, salt, spices, textiles, and precious stones. Through this trade, the Mali Empire grew both wealthy and powerful. And it was during this remarkable era that Mansa Musa emerged on the stage of history. The exact date of Mansa Musa's birth remains unknown, but historians believe he was born around 1280. His original name was Musa Keita. The Keita family was the founding dynasty of the Mali Empire. One of its most famous figures was Sundiata Keita, the legendary ruler who established the empire in the 13th century. Mansa Musa belonged to this prestigious royal lineage. The title Mansa itself meant emperor or king in the language of Mali. Therefore, the name by which history remembers him essentially means Emperor Musa. As a young man, Musa received an excellent education. He learned about trade, governance, and religion. However, the event that led him to the throne was unexpected. Before Mansa Musa, the Mali Empire was ruled by a king named Abu Bakr II. He was a curious and ambitious leader who became fascinated by the mysteries of the Atlantic Ocean. Determined to discover what lay beyond the horizon, he ordered the construction of a large fleet. Hundreds of ships were prepared and stocked with food and supplies. The fleet sailed westward into the Atlantic. Only one ship returned. The surviving sailors reported powerful ocean currents that had swept the rest of the fleet away. Yet, Abu Bakr was not discouraged. He organized an even larger expedition and personally led the voyage. This time, neither the king nor his fleet ever returned. They vanished into history. Following this mysterious disappearance, the throne of Mali passed to Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa was a powerful ruler, but he was also deeply devoted to his faith. As a Muslim, he considered the pilgrimage to Mecca one of his most important religious duties. In 1324, preparations began for this historic journey. But Mansa Musa's pilgrimage would be unlike any other. he would not travel alone. A massive caravan accompanied him. Historical accounts describe astonishing numbers. The caravan reportedly included around 60,000 people, 12,000 servants and slaves, hundreds of soldiers, hundreds of attendants, and hundreds of camels. Each camel carried approximately 130 kilograms of gold. The caravan crossed the Sahara Desert, beginning a journey that would last for months and eventually become one of the most famous expeditions in history. After a long journey, the caravan arrived in Cairo. At the time, Cairo was one of the greatest cities in the Islamic world. Mansa Musa's arrival caused an enormous sensation. Everyone wanted to see the legendary ruler from West Africa. During his stay, Mansa Musa displayed extraordinary generosity. He distributed gold to the poor, rewarded merchants, and donated generously to mosques and schools. However, the amount of gold he gave away was so immense that it produced an unexpected consequence. A vast quantity of gold suddenly entered Cairo's economy. As a result, the value of gold declined. Historians estimate that the economic effects lasted for nearly a decade. Mansa Musa had quite literally influenced the economy of an entire region through his wealth alone. After returning from his pilgrimage, Mansa Musa began investing his fortune in education, science, and culture. The city of Timbuktu became one of the world's greatest centers of learning during his reign. Mosques, libraries, schools, and educational institutions were constructed throughout the city. Among the most famous was Sankore University, which students traveled from across Africa, and students traveled from across Africa and beyond to study subjects such as mathematics, astronomy, law, history, and religion. Timbuktu soon became one of Africa's intellectual capitals. As Mansa Musa's fame spread, stories of his immense wealth reached Europe. In 1375, the famous Catalan atlas depicted a king in West Africa holding a large piece of gold. That king was Mansa Musa. The map sparked great curiosity among Europeans and contributed to growing interest in the riches of West Africa, an interest that would later influence European exploration of the continent. Mansa Musa ruled the Mali Empire for many years. Under his leadership, the empire expanded, prospered, and flourished culturally. Yet, like all great empires, Mali eventually began to decline. Mansa Musa is believed to have died around 1337. He left behind an extraordinary legacy. Although his successors were unable to maintain the same level of power and prosperity, his name endured through the centuries. Today, Mansa Musa remains one of history's most legendary rulers. But was he truly the richest person who ever lived? Or was his wealth simply too vast to measure? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Everything is on record.